Hello, people that watch my show. This is a program. This is the Above It All program. Today is Friday. It's not Friday. It is for you, but it's not for me. And I'm going to be talking about show today. I'm going to be doing that. We're kind of running through the greatest hits. One of the things about doing this kind of show in a frequent way, one of the reasons why I kind of stepped back to do a more weekly show instead of a daily show was that, one, America's falling apart, right? And two, it's the same shit in the news every day. Mass shooting there, mass shooting here, mass shooting there, mass shooting over there, mass shooting next door, mass shooting over there, right? That happens every day. Thousands of people dying of COVID per week, that hasn't changed. Trump and Biden are acting like imbeciles, and they're the presidential candidates. Everyone's getting sick, everyone's getting dumber, and, it kind of just drives me a little insane. But I'm going to be running through the greatest hits here today anyway. I want to start today's show off with a little bit of a controversial segment here, because I love to stick the controversy at the start of the show. Shooting after Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade kills one near Union Station, at least 21 wounded. So this is it's one of those greatest hits kind of moments for me. And I have a hot take here. I'm not going to lie to you, and I may be jaded. I may be one of those weirdos. But okay, so these are football fans going to a parade in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of the most infectious period of the pandemic, in a country where mass shootings happen every day. I mean, let's be honest here. At what point do Americans think to themselves, it's not worth it, maybe, to go to the corporate ad campaign known as a Super Bowl victory parade? So, okay, you spend hundreds of your dollars celebrating this corporate holiday, right, giving your money to corporations that want to kill you. Then, red team or blue team, whichever one won, wins. So then you go to this victory parade, get COVID 15,000 times, in a country where mass shootings are guaranteed to happen. At what point, I'm just going to be honest here, maybe this sounds like victim blaming, but at what point do people start to realize, why the fuck am I going to a parade during a pandemic in a country where mass shootings happen every day? I'm just saying, maybe it's a victim blaming thing. Oh, dear heavens, we're sad and crocodile tears. We're all going to pretend to be sad. Oh my God, my heart breaks. My heart breaks for the people in society that have been left behind by fucking morons that are flocking to these corporate ad campaigns known as the Super Bowl. These are the people running our society. The lowest common denominator that finds going to a Super Bowl victory parade to be a good thing to do on a Wednesday afternoon or whatever. I'm just saying, now again, wow, fucked up person kills people with a gun. Wow. oh, well, it's the guns that are bad, and we shouldn't have guns. Did I fulfill my quota as a left-wing show? Did I fulfill it? Did I meet my requirements? Guns are bad. Did you know that guns kill people? Yeah, we already know that. That's why I don't leave the fucking house, dumbass. You know what else kills people? COVID-19. When are fucking lefties going to talk about COVID as an issue again? Like they talk about guns. Every time there's a mass shooting, left-wing YouTubers and right-wing YouTubers, they all celebrate. They all masturbate. They all jerk the fuck off and go like, yes! I get to make another video where I say the same fucking thing over and over and over again and tell my audience nothing of motherfucking importance. How about this? Don't go to a fucking Super Bowl parade in a country where not only are we at the peak of the pandemic, but also people love to shoot up motherfucking parades. Like, have you been living in this country for the last couple fucking years? Like, Jesus goddamn Christ. I know COVID's not real to you dumb motherfuckers, but guns aren't real too? Like, are we all just gonna, well, there are no guns here. Let's keep doing our stupid fucking parades. Like, I just spat all over the mic. What a shame. Jesus Christ, I'm seeing the saliva particles enter the grill of the microphone. Check this out. This is some gross. Look at that. Look at that. That is awful. That is really not good. I mean, I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, does anyone ever think about, and again, I'm not trying to victim blame here. Should we be allowed to go to parades without fearing for our safety? Yeah. Welcome to my fucking team, where I've been screaming about safety in the outside world for years, whereas you, motherfuckers, I'm talking to the normies, I'm talking to the dumb bitches that, there are some dumb bitches that watch my show, so there's a little bit of that. They're like, no, everyone should be allowed to do whatever they want, get you a disease, that's fine, kill you and your family, that's fine, take all your money, that's fine, everyone should be allowed to do whatever the fuck they want all times. I say this, maybe this society that we've kind of decided to let run rampant, maybe it's just not worth it. I'm just saying, is it like it's a Super Bowl? Unless you're the fucking quarterback's mom or something, why the fuck are you going to this parade? You didn't win the Super Bowl. What the fuck did you do? You sat at home and spent fucking hundreds of dollars on stupid fucking food that's going to fucking kill you 20 years younger, inviting all your friends over for a super spreader event to get COVID, so you're going to die another 10 years younger than that, right? So, what the fuck is this, weird engagement that people have with sports? I don't get it. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't motherfucking get it. I really don't get it. I also don't understand, again, liking sports so much that you're willing to go to a parade at the height of the pandemic in a country where mass shootings happen at major events all the time. I'm just saying, do these people have any foresight? Do these people have any ability to predict the future? I'm just curious, right? Now, people might be saying, you're just so mean to sports fans. Wouldn't you want to go to some major event in your world of your special interest? No! These events happen all the time. I love video games. There's gaming conventions all the time. In an abstract world where there is no pandemic, where there are no mass shootings every day, would I like to go to a video game convention? Maybe. It's possible. But guess what? We live in a pandemic world where everyone's sick all the time and dying really younger, a lot younger. And we live in mass shooting world where people bring guns everywhere and kill each other, right? So I'm not going to these fucking events. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit how much I like video games. I don't give a shit how much I like comic books. I don't give a shit how much I like movies. I'm not going to these fucking conventions. I'm not going to these fucking parades. Why? Because I don't want to die young. I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry if that's controversial to say. I want to die at an old age. Now, feel free to clip that so that when I eventually get killed in a home invasion or some other shit, that's, whatever, and it's bound to happen at some point. You can, juxtapose that and make a fun YouTube video. But let's read the news here. So we got 21 motherfuckers that got wounded here. Now, again, I'm just going to stipulate again, these are sports fans that are going to a parade to give their money to a corporation during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Is it really can we really call them victims at this point? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be a little edgy here. This is Edgelord Town. At least one person was killed. I love when they say that, at least one person. I mean, Wouldn't you know by now? No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, people with injuries die over time, but was killed and multiple people, including young children and teens, were wounded in a shooting near Union Station in Kansas City, Missouri. How many fucking goddamn cities have a Union Station? Like, every fucking major city I've ever been to has a Union goddamn Station. Like, can you get a new name? Like, Jesus goddamn Christ. Oh, they're a Union Station. Well, which one? There's like fucking 7 trillion of them in the fucking goddamn country. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, come up with a goddamn name. Anyway, at the conclusion of the Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade Wednesday, officials said 3 people were detained, but authorities have still not said who was behind the shooting and what led to the deadly gunfire. So they don't fucking know. They have no idea. And this is what happens in our world. They just don't fucking know. No one cares. The cops aren't here to do it. Like, that's the thing. Okay, if you're going to a parade, a Super Bowl parade, right, you got to be dumb as shit. But if you're going to go to these things, or you have an IQ of about 14, right, you have to, like, have, like, some belief system that, like, yeah, the cops are going to protect me from the mass shooters. Like, how dumb do you have to be to believe that? I'm just like, seriously, how dumb do you have to be to believe the cops are going to protect you from a mass shooting? I'm just like, how do people justify in their heads doing stupid fucking shit all the time? I really don't understand. I really don't get, as a society, how people justify doing stupid fucking goddamn garbage all the fucking time, like going to a Super Bowl parade. Like, I'm just like, a height of the pandemic, Super Bowl parade, and during a country where mass shootings happen every single day. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe I sound like I'm victim blaming. I'm not. Is it a shame that these people died? Sure. Here, let me read the script. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, thoughts and prayers. What a shame. It's the guns and sad. Alright, there you go. There's your fucking goddamn shooting segment. But here's another fun shooting segment. Deputy scared by an acorn hitting his cruiser opens fire in the street. So these are the same dumb motherfuckers that dumb motherfuckers think are going to protect their dumb asses when they go out to a Super Bowl parade. Yeah, the cops. They're going to protect you. Yeah! This guy opened fire in a residential neighborhood because an acorn hit his fucking car. Now, there's a video circulating. You can watch the video. This guy, like, hears the acorn, and he goes, "Ah! I'm hit! And then, like, dives to the fucking ground and starts unloading his, like, sci-fi handgun or whatever. It's a weird-looking gun that they have. And this is, and then you ask fucking grandma who's at the Super Bowl parade, like, oh, you feel comfortable going outside? Well, yeah, the cops are going to protect me. What world do you live in, Grandma? Are you fucking demented like the fucking President of the United States? I just don't get it. How are we still living in this fucking hell world? Like, you would fucking motherfucking think that enough of this horse shit happening would have critical mass be reached in the motherfucking population. You would fucking think that. Theoretically, you would fucking think, oh, how many fucking videos do we need to see of cops shooting into fucking playgrounds and fucking school districts because an acorn hit their fucking car hood? How many fucking videos do we need to see like this? Right? Before people go like, maybe we should do something else. Failed experiment, let's try a different one. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, is like doing this news show here, I've done this for like 4 years, something like that. Like, I've seen it all, I've done it all, I've talked about it all. There's nothing new to say. So why do I keep doing this? Well, because people want me to say the fucking same goddamn thing over and fucking over again, because apparently everyone has the memory of a goldfish. That's why leftist news shows stop talking about COVID, something interesting, something actionable that you can do to better your personal life. Because that's too complicated. No one wants to hear things that can actually improve their fucking lives and keep them and their kids and their families safe. They don't want to hear that. They want to die like the rest of the people in the death cult. That's why you see leftist YouTubers go, oh, the guns, and cops, they're bad. But, like, we're not going to say anything that, oh, you can improve your life, I don't know, by not going to Super Bowl parades. Oh, we can improve our lives by, I don't know, not getting COVID 19,514 times. Oh, we can improve our lives by not eating poison, also called food. By the way, I'm going to talk about this in a second here. Check this out. EWG finds a little-known toxic chemical in 4 out of 5 people tested. How? Cheerios. Cheerios has been poisoned for decades. Turns out if you've ever had Cheerios, now you have a permanent fucking chemical in your body. So we're going to get into that in a moment here. But again, left-wing news shows aren't allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed. We're banned. We're only allowed to talk about the superficial garbage over and over and say the same thing over and over and over and over again. Mass shooting. Cops being dumb. Whoa! Whoa! But don't do anything about it. Whoa! But don't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it. Protest? No, that's never gonna work. Revolution? Hell no. What? We gotta go to fucking Disney World. We can't fucking do a revolution. I gotta watch TV or whatever. And hey, I'm not saying I'm any better. You know, this is the Above It All show. I'm not any better than you. I'm sitting here doing a YouTube show. I've given up. You know, I'm not going out there doing political organizing. Fuck that fucking shit. I'm not getting a fucking disease that's going to make me die 15 years younger because a bunch of fucking self-proclaimed communists who are actually just eugenicist morons when they pretend to LARP and do this cosplay where they pretend like they're epic radical fucking revolutionaries where they do their, oh, we're gonna do a protest that's sanctioned, by the way, by the government. You know, we signed up to, you know, to do this protest, and the government is, they approved our petition for a protest, and then we're gonna go wave a bunch of flags, we're all gonna get sick, and then we're gonna go home. I'm sorry, that's not, I don't really care about that fucking shit anymore, right? My idea, you know, and this may seem like a lost cause. I don't fucking know, right? I'll look back at this in a year or two from now and go like, damn, what was I thinking? But my idea right now, the only form of political activism that I can think of is helping people survive the fucking world that we live in. And how do I do that? Stay the fuck home. Don't go to fucking Super Bowl parades. What are you, fucking 12 years old? Like, what the fuck? How do you fucking find any, like, value at all in a fucking Super Bowl parade? Like, you have to be a fucking, like, someone with Down syndrome or some shit. And I'm that ableist, I'm sorry. But it's like, I just don't understand what the fuck's going on in this world that we're living in, where people are doing the dumbest motherfucking shit in the world all the time, every day, and we're not allowed to talk about it. We're just not allowed to talk about it. How people are going to Super Bowl parades? Really? 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 In mass shooting capital of the world during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, you're going to go to a Super Bowl parade? Insane. And again, we have this story of this fucking cop. Let's read this fucking shit, you know, because it's on the fucking screen. A Florida law enforcement officer shot an unarmed and handcuffed man after mistaking the sound of a falling acorn for a gunshot. These are the people that we pay them. We pay their fucking salaries to protect and serve. Are we going to do anything about this? As a society, are we going to do anything about the cops? No, fuck no, we're not. We're going to let them kill us. These are the guys who are given guns, state-sanctioned fucking guns, so that they can patrol the streets and fucking gun down anyone they want. And they're fucking shooting at some guy in handcuffs because an acorn fell on a car. I'm sorry, this society is over. It's done. It's not worth saving. The only thing I can find any value in are individual people, right, that maybe realize, this shit ain't good. And maybe we can round up all these people and move to Antarctica, you know, because Iran's setting up a military outpost there, right? So we can just move on in to fucking Antarctica, right? Because that shit's going to be looking pretty nice in 40, 50 years from now. That's my idea. I'm done with this society. If you're fucking plugged into the societal machine, I'm sorry, you're a lost cause. I just don't fucking get it. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm the fucking fucked up freak. Maybe I have some fucking mental fucking illness of some kind that prevents me from understanding why people would go to a Super Bowl parade at the height of a pandemic in a country where mass shootings happen every day, right? Like, maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I just don't understand. And, you know, I just want to say, like, I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't understand this world's fascination with being fucking stupid. Like, it's one thing if you have some sort of disability, that's one fucking thing, you know? Like, you know, I get it. Like, but like, we're talking about the normal regular people, we have to come to terms with the fact that like things like disability, things like mental disorder, right? These are relative terms to the normal population, which are full of fucking idiots, full of stupid motherfuckers, right? So you can have a certain mental disability, certain issue, whatever in your processing, right? That doesn't that doesn't correlate to whether or not you're smart or dumb, in the same sense that like the normal version of the world, the way that people see the world and society, right? They wrote the books that classify what is a mental disorder, right? So if you act out, right, in any way, you do not, go along to get along. You go to the Super Bowl parade during the height of the pandemic in a country where mass shootings happen every day. If you don't do that, you're the weird one. You're the disordered one. And this is my issue with the way that the world treats, people like us, people that want to survive into our like 40s or something, right? Is that we're the weirdos. We're the fucked up freaks. We're the ones that are diseased. Not the motherfuckers going to a parade for a team they didn't play in, a team that they don't know one in. They don't like, oh, is your nephew on the team? No, you don't know anyone on the team. You're going to go to the parade to celebrate a team you had nothing to do with during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, but that's normal. That's not disordered. They don't have a disease. They don't have a syndrome. They're just normal. What? I say they all got a syndrome. How about fucked up in the head syndrome? How about that? That's what the average American has. And I'm sorry, but I just refuse to participate in that fucking goddamn society. I really don't care. By the way, check this out. This is a Fox News article. I wanted to read the Fox News version of this because, you're always in for a good time. Should the CDC drop its 5-day COVID isolation guidelines, doctors weigh in. Oh, Fox News approved doctors are going to weigh in on whether or not we should have isolation guidelines. By the way, isolation guidelines, what? No one follows that fucking shit anyway because there's no enforcement mechanism, right? And bosses tell you to go to work when you're sick anyway. What are you going to do? Say, well, the CDC says. Well, the fucking boss doesn't give a shit about the fucking CDC. But anyway, as some claim the agency is considering a change in the guidance, doctors call for a focus on symptoms over timetables. Like, the pandemic is at an all-time high right now. I need people to really fucking understand the world that we're living in, right? In 2020, right, the pandemic was nothing. It was fucking nothing. It was child's play in 2020. Do you want to know why? Because broadly speaking, a lot of people wore masks. Broadly speaking, a lot of people stayed home, right? And so that mitigated the absolute worst things that the pandemic can do. Now, if you stay home, you're a recluse. You're weird. Come on and drink the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones made a really good batch, right? So we're at the height of the pandemic. People are sicker than ever. Everyone in the world is sick all at the same time, right? Everyone's getting dumber. Their mental faculties are slowing. Their quick decision making is slowing. By the way, they're driving cars still, just so you know. People are driving cars. Accidents are on the rise. Everything is fucked up. And now we're dropping like the vestigial, like on paper, you get COVID. Well, first of all, no one tests for COVID, right? Because why would you spend money on a test, right? Because who cares about your own personal health and safety and identifying the illness that you have? Why would you want to do that? Just go to work. So no one tests for COVID, right? But on paper, the CDC is like, well, maybe you should isolate for 5 days. By the way, it used to be 10 days. You want to know when they changed it to 5? The CDC had a meeting with the CEO of Delta Airlines in the winter of 2021. And then as soon as that meeting was done, they changed it from 10 to 5. So if you think that these decisions are being made with your best interest in mind, you're fucking dumber than dog shit. You're a fucking idiot, and honestly, you deserve to go to the Super Bowl parade in a country during the height of the pandemic, in a country where mass shootings happen every day. Have fun. Have fun. Jesus goddamn motherfucking Christ. But let's check out what these goddamn Fox News doctors want to say. All right, let's go. When contacted by Fox News, the CDC issued the following statement. No updates to COVID guidelines to announce at this time, blah, blah, blah. Some states have already relaxed their own guidelines. In both Oregon and California, people with COVID do not have to isolate at all. Now, you ever think about the Oregon and California? Now, Oregon's not necessarily a left-wing state. There's a lot of rural, conservative shit going on in Oregon. I mean, same thing with California, but, by the numbers, California is more liberal. There's a lot of left-wing people there. But it's definitely a solid neoliberal state. And what is neoliberalism? Neoliberalism is kill yourself for corporations. That's why California is the leading state in the nation. It's not fucking Idaho. It's not Texas. It's not Florida. It's California, which is the leading state in the nation, saying kill yourself for consumerism. Kill yourself for capitalism. Do you want to see your kids graduate high school? Fuck no. You gotta go to work and get COVID and die as soon as possible in California, because they only care about your value and worth relative to how much money you can make on their fucking line sheets. That's all they fucking care about in California. The government of California, do you really fucking think they give a shit about your health and safety? Like, imagine being so fucking goddamn stupid that you think Donald Trump or Joe Biden or someone like Gavin Newsom personally cares about your health and safety, let alone your kids' health and safety. And I'm talking to the parents here, the I would do anything for my kids type people who send their kids to school during the height of the pandemic and their kids are going to have like a 40-year reduced lifespan as a result, right? You think that this government gives a fuck about you? Huh? What fucking world are you living in? Like, what news media are you looking at? Certainly not the same shit I'm looking at. Let's see what these doctors have to say. Quote, "We are now at a different point in time with reduced impacts from COVID-19 compared to prior years due to broad immunity from vaccination and or natural infection." Now, by the way, I just want to say that's the California public health statement. That's a lie. That's not true. First of all, what are the vaccine rates? 20%. Huh? 20%? That's it? So the nation has broad immunity because 1/5 of the people got a vaccine? Huh? And natural immunity? What? That is what Donald Trump said in 2020. Natural immunity from COVID was debunked 4 fucking years ago. In May of 2020, not 2024, 2020, 4 years ago, not just, a little 3 and some change, it was debunked. This is a virus that you do not have natural immunity from. That was debunked 4 fucking years ago. Who started that conspiracy theory? Donald Trump. Who maintains that conspiracy theory? Joe Biden and the California Department of Health. I believe it was the country Sweden that actually ran the full-scale herd immunity experiment and failed. Everyone got way sicker, right? Long COVID erupted, and guess what? They're still getting sick. Now, this is the thing that's really fucked to me. They will tell you get immunity from getting infected. And then you get infected a second time, and somehow people are like, wait a second, I was not scammed. No, I'm even more immune. I'm super immune. So you get infected once. Now you're immune. You get infected twice. You're super immune. You get infected thrice. You're super immune plus 5. Right? Like, but how do you keep getting infected? Does anyone ever think about that? Does anyone ever stop and fucking think for once in their goddamn fucking lives about the situation that's currently unfolding, right? Wait, you're telling me we have natural immunity, except everyone I know is sick all the time, and I keep getting COVID over and over again, but we have natural immunity? And you motherfuckers believe them. You're like, yeah, Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden, yeah, fuck yeah, they care about my personal health. The guy who started this conspiracy theory, Donald Trump, yeah, he cares about my medical situation. Donald Trump cares about me and my heart condition. Are you fucking serious? So let's see what doctors are saying here. Timothy Brewer, MD, a professor of medicine and epidemiology at UCLA, said on February 14 that he has seen many news reports suggesting the CDC may change its COVID isolation recommendations. But to my knowledge and checking the CDC's website today, their recommendations have not yet changed. Now, the reason you're seeing this shit in the media is because they're going to change it. They're signaling that they will change it, but they don't want to do it in one fell swoop, so they send out the fucking test run, the trial balloon. Let's see how people react to this fucking shit. So, let's see. Most respiratory viruses, including SARS-CoV-2. So this fucking doctor's already fucking stupid because SARS-CoV-2, also known as COVID-19, is not a respiratory virus. It's a vascular disease. All right? A respiratory virus implies that it stays in the respiratory system. It enters in the respiratory system. Why? Because that's how breathing fucking works, right? That's like saying, let's say that there's a home invasion, right? And someone opens your front door with a gun and they're going to kidnap your family or whatever, right? Let's say that happens, right? Now, do we call them a front door invasion? It's a front door invasion. No, it's a home invasion. Why? They entered through the front door and then they went inside your fucking house. They went upstairs and then they fucking killed your kids or whatever, right? We don't call them front door invasions. So why do we call COVID a respiratory virus? Oh, because these people are fucking stupid. That's why. And am I saying I know more than this doctor? Fuck yeah, I am. This is a Fox News fucking doctor, okay? The virus that causes COVID-19 disease, influenza, and respiratory syncytial virus are capable of being spread while persons with these infections are ill. Yeah, no fucking shit, dumbass. Being able to isolate oneself when sick with a respiratory viral infection should reduce community spread of these viruses, which remains high or moderately high in much of the country. What does that even mean? It remains high or moderately high? Like, this is like when, like, I've done, like, fucking, like, a whole package of edible marijuana gummies or whatever, and someone asks me, like, how high are you? And I'm like, I'm high or moderately high. Like, what? We're talking about a fucking viral disease that is fucking causing permanent disability in hundreds of millions of people around the world, and these motherfuckers are like, it remains high or moderately high. What the fuck is moderately high? I'm sorry, man. What the fuck does that mean? Quote, removing the current guidelines is a correct step to helping to restore the workforce. Yeah. So, that's the thing about this. They're killing you for money. They're killing you for money. You will never see your grandkids graduate high school. Why? Because you died. Because you were too fucking stupid to live, in a literal sense. I believe that this is natural selection. I personally believe that. If you are incapable, in a world where we have access to cell phones, if you are incapable of cutting through the bullshit when it comes to the media, and then you get COVID over and over again because, well, Donald Trump told me it went away. Donald Trump told me I was immune. Then guess what? You're not going to make it. You're just not going to make it. This is Charles Darwin's theory at work here. Natural selection. Now, some people would say it's artificial selection because humans are involved. Humans are not involved. Corporations are involved. Humans are fucking stupid little creatures. We're not evolved to any capacity. We're not above animals. This isn't artificial to any degree. We are killing ourselves because we evolved to be fucking stupid. So we're killing ourselves for made-up corporations. We made them up. What is a corporation? A thing we made up? And we're killing ourselves for it? Isn't that weird? We're not killing ourselves for clean water. You know, it'd be one thing if someone, dedicated their life to finding, like, a clean water reservoir, and as a result, inhaled some, like, maybe they were, like, finding an aquifer or some fucking shit, and they ran into, like, some coal thing, and then they breathed a bunch of coal, so then they got black lung, but eventually they did find an aquifer, and they were able to pipe it up, and now we have clean water for everyone or whatever. That would be one thing, if you killed yourself for the betterment of others. But people aren't doing that anymore. They're killing themselves for the betterment of an imaginary corporation they have no stake in. Now, again, it's one thing if you've got like 5% stock in this goddamn corporation or something. But people are killing themselves for made-up entities they have no stake in. That's what happens when you go to work without a mask on. You are letting your boss kill you for nothing. You get nothing. Oh, but don't worry, you get minimum wage. You can go home and pay rent and watch Netflix and fall asleep. And then do nothing else because you're poor. Yeah. But no, masks are too expensive. Netflix is fine. Fast food and junk food is fine. But masks are too expensive. Oh, we can't do it. It's too expensive. Oh, really? Just like water is too expensive. Just like food is too expensive. So we got to spend money. Now, again, on my show, I try to be nice to poor people. I am a poor person. I'm a former poor person. I used to be destitute as a child. But also, as a result, I know how poor people spend money. And now I'm not saying every poor person in America spends money like an idiot. But I know a lot of poor people who spend money in really fucking stupid ways. By buying junk food. Things they don't fucking need to poison themselves just to cope with the existence of being poor. And you know what? I'm sorry, but I say no. I'm not going to waste my money on pacifying myself to sleep, dying in my 30s of heart failure because I eat ice cream every night because my fucking reality is so miserable. I'm going to try to do something to actually change that reality. And again, if you're going to work without a mask on because masks are too expensive or COVID's over, you are literally killing yourself for a company that will not remember you the day after you die. Isn't that weird? Don't we find that a little strange here? Does anyone find that? I don't know. I'm going crazy today. Just bear with me, okay? I'm going fucking crazy today. And I'm drinking coffee. And it's the morning. So Brewer said, so they give this big, bold quote. Removing the current guidelines is a correct step to helping restore the workforce. And then Brewer underneath says, it makes excellent public health sense to isolate when you're sick. So, again, these are Fox News doctors. So what they're doing is they're throwing a little logic in there, just to cover their own ass. Because this guy is going to get a text message from his colleagues going like, you got quoted in Fox News telling them that COVID is over? Like, what the fuck? Right. So then they have to throw in this qualifying statement. But yeah, it does make sense, kind of, so that, when their fucking colleagues are texting them, like, what are you fucking doing? They can say, well, I did say this and blah, blah, blah. Right. So again, that's what that is. Quote, I don't think the exact number of days matters as much as waiting until the person is feeling better, meaning no fever for at least 24 hours off antipyretic medicines and all other symptoms are improving. Now, what the fuck does that mean? Now, I just, again, engage critical thought for a moment here. Now, again, 60%, according to the CDC's own statistics, 60% of COVID transmission is asymptomatic. You have no symptoms at all. Now, I didn't say 60% of COVID cases are asymptomatic, but I said transmission, meaning you are most transmissible before you even know you're sick. Why? Think about it. Again, we mentioned the theory of evolution earlier. If you are a parasite or a virus or anything, I love video games. Do you like video games? Maybe you like spy movies. You ever watch a spy movie, right? Doesn't it make more sense if your goal, let's say, I was watching a Mission Impossible the other day. I've never seen them before, so I'm watching them all. If your goal is to infiltrate some fucking, government agency or building or whatever, doesn't it make sense, think about it logically, to infiltrate with stealth? Think about it, right? Now, you ever play Metal Gear Solid, right? Everyone loves Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation, right? What happens when you play Metal Gear Solid on, hardest difficulty, and you just run and gun your way through everything? Guess what? You don't fucking make it. I mean, unless you're a perfect gamer and you know all the fucking AI patterns. I don't. But, you ever see a spy movie and then they're like, yeah, we're going to infiltrate the CIA headquarters, so we're just going to fucking get on a helicopter, drop a missile, and fucking rain down in on a fucking rope ladder. No. They fucking dress up. They stealth their way in. They go fucking under the radar. And that's exactly why. Because you get better fucking results. So think about it. COVID is the most transmissible before you get actual symptoms. Okay, what is a symptom? A symptom is an outward expression of something, right? For example, you can have cancer and not express any symptoms for years. Does that mean you don't have cancer? The first moment that you go man, what's that? That's the moment the cancer started? No, right? So most COVID transmission are asymptomatic. That's why you wear a fucking mask. That's why we all need to be wearing N95 or P100 respirators at all fucking times. Because of that exact fucking fact. But again, people are fucking stupid. So they say, oh, your symptoms are improving. What does that mean? So your fever was 105, right? You're dead, basically, right? And then the next day, right, your fever is 104.7. Oh, well, my symptoms are improving. Back to work! Like, does anyone think about the words that they use at all in any way, shape, and form? Does anybody think about this? I don't think so. Dr. Mark Siegel, clinical professor of medicine at NYU Langone and a Fox News medical contributor, oh boy, said that he thinks the CDC isolation recommendations should be changed, but not in the same way that Oregon and California have. I think they will be changed. It should have been changed a while ago, Siegel told Fox News Digital. I recently interviewed Dr. Mandy Cohen, head of the CDC Director of Genocide in this country, and she told me that they are shifting their focus more toward putting doctors and their patients in charge in general, acknowledging individual differences. What is that? Okay, again, language. Words matter. So the Director of Genocide said, now this is a secondhand quote, so the Director of Genocide tells the Fox News Genocide contributor that they are shifting their focus more toward putting doctors and their patients in charge in general, acknowledging individual differences. What? What? They are shifting their focus. Now, again, you ask people and they go like, well, yeah, duh. Viruses don't exist. Germs aren't real, right? That's what most people believe. And the person in charge of this propaganda campaign said that they are shifting their focus more toward putting doctors and their patients in charge in general, comma, acknowledging individual differences. Now, again, I could spend $1 million hiring the top linguistic professors all across the world, and I don't think a single one of them would be able to tell me what the fuck this means. And this is this guy's, like, reason. This is this guy's proof that the pandemic is over. What? And y'all dumb motherfuckers believe this shit? Quote, the pandemic has been over for several months, and though there was an uptick this winter, by the way, the uptick is still going. And also, the pandemic has been over for several months. What? The WHO just fucking did a report like a week ago saying the pandemic is still raging. So again, what? They're just lying to you. And if you get COVID and kill yourself, kill your family, put your entire family and your fucking kids in danger because of this shit, Again, Jim Jones. Look him up. That's the whole world. Death cult. Death cult. You people who think getting COVID is fine are fucking literally, and I mean this literally, too fucking dumb to live. You're all gonna fucking die. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. You're all gonna fucking die. And guess what? Everyone else has to suffer from your stupid fucking goddamn actions. And that's not fair. The true victims of this pandemic are not the people getting gunned down at Super Bowl parades. Fuck them. No one gives a shit about them. At least no one that has an intelligence above 5 gives a fuck about them, right? Oh, my victim blaming, wow, how edgy, right? But the real victims of this pandemic are the people that know what the fuck is going on and live with people who believe Donald Trump cares about their health and safety. Again, I just want to read this. They are shifting their focus. Now, again, you believe this. If you're getting COVID over and over again because you think it's perfectly fine, you think this is a logical sentence. They're shifting their focus more toward putting doctors and their patients in charge in general, acknowledging individual differences. Now, if you polled people, they'd go like, yeah, individual differences. Gotta put the patients in charge, yeah. Because people are fucking too dumb to live. I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry if you don't like hearing this. I'm sorry if I'm being too edgy for you today. But honestly, I've had enough of this fucking horse shit. I have had enough of this horse shit. I really have. I really have. This fucking horse shit, dude. I'm done. I'm done. I don't care about decorum. I don't care about being polite. If you fall for this shit, honestly, and yes, I'm victim blaming, you deserve your fate. If you think Joe Biden or Fox News doctors give a shit about your personal health, or the director of genocide in the U.S., if you think that these people care about your personal health and safety, you deserve what happens to you, because you're literally, and again, I mean this sincerely, you are too fucking stupid to live. For those who are sick, particularly if they feel fatigued, are coughing and sneezing, or have a fever, Siegel's guidance is to stay home. If you feel well and the above symptoms have gone for 2 days or more, you can return to work with a mask. Gotta go to work. Gotta go to work. I want to play a video here from Bernard Sanders. Bernard Sanders actually tweeted about long COVID. And he had this video that his team produced. I want to watch this video with y'all. Now, again, I just want to say Bernard should be talking about long COVID, but also he should have been talking about this for the last 4 fucking years. Where the fuck was he? Now, again, he mentions it sometimes, right? But it's like, I don't know, man. This seems to be, like, aren't you the Medicare for all guy? Like, this is my problem with a lot of left-wingers, including Bernie Sanders here. Good old Saint Bernard. I love him, you know. I can't ever not love Bernard, honestly. I mean, seriously, this guy's great. You know, in the before times. But anyway, so you'd think all these left-wing YouTubers that, Medicare for all these left-wing news commentators, Medicare for all, Bernie Sanders, he is the Medicare for all guy? You would think that the largest public health crisis of our entire lifetimes, you would think that the Medicare for all guys would be on top of this 24/7, right? No, wrong. Bernie tweets about long COVID like once every fucking couple weeks. But he tweeted about long COVID and his team produced a video. And I want to play this video regardless of whether or not I think Bernie should be doing this more. He did it here. Let's watch.
Long COVID is very real. It's not something that's in your head. It's not an imagination.
Now, the reason why that's an important opening is because I know a lot of long COVID sufferers, the real victims of this pandemic, the people that got infected by Donald Trump supporters and Joe Biden supporters who believe that germs aren't real. These are the victims. They go to the doctor. The doctors don't believe in COVID. They don't believe in germs either. They tell them it's anxiety. You're anxious. Yeah, that's why you can't get out of bed in the morning. That's why your fucking bones hurt, because you're anxious. That's why you can't fucking breathe when you climb up the stairs, because you're anxious. Yeah. So if you know long COVID sufferers, right, the real victims of this pandemic, right, you will know that a lot of them, or all of them, it's possible that some long COVID sufferers have had a good doctor the first try. It's possible. But most of them have to go doctor to doctor to doctor to just find someone that believes in germs. This is the world we live in, right? There have been documented scientific and research medical studies over 4 years now. 3 years, really, for long COVID, right? And yet most doctors don't believe in it. Doesn't that remind you of something like the AIDS crisis?
Third leading neurological disorder in the U.S., impacting 15% of those who get COVID.
3 years ago.
Now, that's a misnomer here. I just want to say this. This is a misnomer here. And the reason why is it's because the CDC. Now, the CDC hedges their bets here. 15% of those who get COVID do not develop long COVID. That is misleading. It is, you have about a 15% chance per infection. So it's not like you get COVID and you don't get long COVID, and then you can just get COVID over and over again and you're fine. It's every time you get infected, there is a 15% chance of getting long COVID. Some studies have said it's a 30%. Some studies have said it's 25%. So I'm going to say it's anywhere from 15 to 30% chance per infection. Now, I know some people that have gotten COVID 4 times in the last 2 years. They've gotten COVID 4 times, right? So now what is long COVID? It is a cluster of slowly creeping symptoms. Now again, think about cancer. Have you ever met anyone that has cancer? 6 months before their diagnosis, did they know they had cancer? Maybe all of a sudden they couldn't breathe as well. You know, you have lung cancer, right? Maybe at work, you know, you got to climb a flight of stairs to get to your office, right? And, you know, a couple months ago, I remember walking up the stairs and I just felt a pain in my lungs and I was like, shit, you know, I'm getting old. How many people mistake cancer or other disease for, I'm getting old, right? So these are slow creeping illnesses. You can get COVID, right? And then think you're okay or recover in some capacity. And then you're just slowly creeping in the wrong direction. And then eventually, oh shit, you go to the doctor and they say you made it up. Now, how does that feel? If you are feeling ill, you can't get out of bed, you go to a doctor for help and they say, oh, you made it up. Fuck you. You made it up. Go fuck yourself. Die. That's what doctors are saying, right? So again, this is some crazy ass shit. You can deny reality all you want, right? If you want to go to parties, if you want to go to your Super Bowl parade, if you want to go to your gaming convention, your comic convention, your fucking birthday party, get COVID, a disease that has been documented to reduce your lifespan by 10 years, feel free. But don't drag the rest of us down. And that's my problem. Like, if you want to have your COVID parties, fine. But when you're interacting in public, wear a fucking respirator. It's that easy. It's that easy. Don't inflict your death cult on the rest of us. You want to go to the parade and kill yourself, kill your kids, kill your family? Fine. Okay? Fine. Wear a respirator until you get there. That's all I'm asking.
Impacting 15% of those who get COVID.
3 years ago, Shamir Smith got sick, and she still hasn't gotten better.
The body pain.
Now, I just want to say this narration, I'm sorry, when I first heard this narration, it sounded like a fucking infomercial from like 2006. Like, I'm just saying, I'm sorry, like whoever the narrator is here, you really fucked this up. I'm just
sick, and she still hasn't gotten better.
She still hasn't gotten better. And then flips star fade or whatever until now. And we present to you a new over-the-counter medication or something like that's, you know, I'm sorry, the narration here is not good. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying.
The body pain, the eye issues that just won't let up for me.
She was diagnosed with long COVID, a name for a collection of health-related problems some people experience after a COVID infection.
I woke up one morning with a fever and a headache. Now, 2.5 years later, I'm still on a pile of pills. I still can't taste my dinner.
People with long COVID are desperate for answers and relief.
It's such a lonely place to be in because no one wants to hear about it anymore. Everyone's done with COVID.
People who get long COVID are more likely to be subsequently unemployed.
I get shortness of breath while getting dressed.
The pain in my foot is awful.
I do my therapy, I come home, I can't move off the couch.
And long COVID is taking its toll on the economy as well. Total estimate in the hundreds of billions. Shamir Smith's realization she could no longer teach really hurts.
And it's hard to see a lot of people moving on post-COVID and trying to get back to some sort of normalcy.
Now, post-COVID is not real. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's not real. If you think that COVID is something that happened in the past, again, Charles Darwin wrote a book. You should read it. But, like, the insidious, creeping Jim Jones style death cult has destroyed people's brains so much that they can be long COVID advocates and still accidentally say terms like post-COVID because everyone fucking tells them that all the time.
And those with long COVID are suffering and struggling still with the virus in some way.
Now again, there are approximately, according to wastewater estimates, about 750,000 new infections every day in the United States of America during the last few weeks. So tell me, let's just say 1 in 5, right? 1 in 5 are going to get long COVID because it's per infection. But somehow the pandemic is over. What?
Since contracting COVID-19 back in January 2021, Todd has never made a full recovery. the world is moving on without you, and you kind of feel invisible.
Now, this is the shit I've been saying on my show, is the world as presented through the hyper reality of news media and Instagram and TikTok and social media, where people pretend that everything is hunky-dory while they're doing their fucking stories or whatever the fuck. This is, and I use the term hyper reality because that's what it is. People are living in a fake version of the real world that is fueled by social media and news media. Right? They're not engaging with reality. They're engaging with the reality that the media created, which is this post-COVID world. Sure, everyone's still sick at the same time. How many YouTubers do you watch? How many Twitch streamers do you watch? How many TikTokers do you watch that are sick right now? Think about it. Just think, how many people do you know in your personal life that are sick right now? But the pandemic's over. Everyone's sick, but the pandemic's over. Huh? What? Like, it's so ridiculously stupid. It really blows my mind.
The symptoms and the disease are absolutely real. We are failing right now as physicians in figuring out how to identify that and how to characterize it.
Now, the text here says it's time for the federal government to listen to the millions of Americans struggling with long COVID. The same government that said the pandemic ended, even though the WHO said, what? The pandemic's still happening, actually? Like, I'm sorry, but the government has failed us. Now, this is why Bernie Sanders is a loser in this instance, right? Because the government has failed us. We need to develop independent institutions that have no reliance whatsoever on the government's input. That's what we need. Now, is Bernie going to do that? No, of course not, because he has a vested interest in the government. So, and then the bold text here says, and develop affordable treatments to help them recover. Okay, but unless we stop the fucking pandemic, none of that matters. Okay, you develop affordable treatments to help people recover from long COVID, then they get COVID again, and then it fucking happens all over again. How about we fucking end the pandemic? For real. Not the fake, oh, let's just pretend it's over thing. How about we actually fucking do something? Now, again, I know people on a lot of comments I get. Here's a good comment I got that's really fucking stupid. When you talk about COVID, you got a reminder that these are all potential outcomes. It's not guaranteed that you'll get long COVID. Now, actually, first of all, cognitive decay is guaranteed. There was a study done, I actually showed it last week on my show, maybe 2 weeks ago, that said even if you don't develop long COVID, you get a fucked up brain. You get a fucked up brain, okay? Even if you don't develop long COVID. Also, you're really willing to gamble your life. Now, again, think about it. What is your policy proposal? We all get COVID in perpetuity until we all die, and there's no solving this crisis forever? That's your proposal. Your proposal is we do nothing about COVID, and then we all die, right? So if it's a potential outcome, let's just say it's 10%, just 10%. We're on this earth 60 years or so. That's our lifespan right now. 10% chance that you get long COVID every COVID infection. The average American, I know people, right, that have gotten COVID 4 times in 1 year. So the average American probably gets COVID anywhere from 2 to 5 to 6 times in 1 year. So you're willing to roll those dice, 10 to 15%, whatever, 20, I mean, the real numbers are closer to 30%. 5 times a year for the rest of your life. That's your strategy. Again, Charles Darwin wrote a book. It's old. Check it out. Go to your local library, wear a respirator, check out On the Theory, or rather, On the Origin of Species, right? You might actually find some value there. Because if your idea is to do fucking nothing, then you're dumber than dog shit. Now, imagine this, okay? Let's make this a little bit more fun. Let's gamify this with an analogy that I enjoy. Now imagine you got to go to work because you love working for fucking Subway, right? But on your way to work, there's no way around it, is a giant lava pit that also acts as a geyser, lava geyser, right? And it goes off randomly. You just don't know. And there's no way around the pit. It's just like it's a giant fucking horizontal pit, and it's got one wooden bridge that constantly gets fucking burned and everyone on it dies, and then they just make a new bridge, okay? Would you still, for work, to go work at Subway to make fucking sandwiches that are loaded with fucking artificial garbage and sugars and stuff like that? You're willing to roll those dice every day. And I'm the crazy one. I'm not willing to roll a 30% chance of fucking long COVID, of suffering a debilitating disease, decaying on my couch. I'm not willing to roll that. And I'm the crazy one. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. EWG finds little known toxic chemical in 4 out of 5 people tested. Now, isn't that fucking wonderful? Isn't that fucking goddamn wonderful? A new EWG peer-reviewed study has found chlormiquat, a little-known pesticide, in 4 out of 5, or 80%, of people tested. The groundbreaking analysis of chlormiquat, God, man, these fucking chemical names, in the bodies of people in the U.S. rings alarm bells because the chemical is linked to reproductive and developmental problems and animal studies suggesting the potential for similar harm to humans. You ever hear people that say they care about kids? They don't care about kids. They don't give a shit about kids. No one in this country cares about kids. They're all lying. Parents, if you ever said, do you care about your kid? You're lying. Because if you did, you wouldn't have had a kid until you did something about the world that we live in. And 2, if you have a kid, you would do something about the world we live in. Where's the union of parents? Most people in this world are parents or prospecting parents. Why don't they unionize to make the world better for their children? Why? Because they don't give a shit about their children. EWG's research, published February 15 in the Journal of Exposure Science and Environmental Epidemiology, tested for the presence of chlormiquat in urine collected from 96 people between 17 and 23. The chemical was found in the urine of 77 of them. Our tests found higher levels. I'm just going to increase the size of this text for people at home. Our test found higher levels and more frequent detections of chlormiquat in the 2023 samples compared to those from 2017 through 22, which suggests consumer exposure to chlormiquat could be on the rise. Just as troubling, we detected the chemical in 92% of oat-based foods purchased in May 2023, including Quaker Oats and Cheerios. Cheerios. Now, when I was a kid, now this is crazy to me, right? I think, knowing what I know now, goddamn, right? But when I was a kid, I was taught by my parents and my grandparents that the healthiest breakfast was Cheerios. It's good for your heart, because that's what it says on the box, and they believed it, right? And orange juice. When I grew up, that was a healthy breakfast. Now, I didn't really ever eat a healthy breakfast. I usually ate like fucking donuts or fucking biscuit sandwiches from Wawa or something. But sometimes we would splurge and get a healthy breakfast of Cheerios and orange juice. That was what I was modeled for as a kid. That was a healthy breakfast. Turns out it's all poison. Interesting. Very interesting. Environmental and Protection Agency regulations allow the chemical to be used on ornamental plants only, not food crops grown in the U.S., but its use is permitted on imported oats and other foods sold here. Many oats and oat products consumed in the U.S. come from Canada. Chlormiquat was not allowed on oats sold in the U.S. before 2018, when the Trump EPA gave first-time approval for some amount of the chemical on imported oats. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fucking interesting? In April 2023, in response to a 2019 application submitted by Chlormequat manufacturer Tamanco, the Biden EPA proposed allowing the first ever use of Chlormequat on barley, oat, triticale, and wheat grown in the U.S. So it's Trump and Biden. It's bipartisan. Both parties are like, fuck yeah, let's spray toxic chemicals on Cheerios. Shouldn't this ring alarm bells in people's heads? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one. I'm the crazy one. That's right. I'm the fucking weirdo. I'm the fucking weirdo. That's what I learned on today's show. I'm the weird one. Oh, you don't want to eat poison, go to a corporate commercial parade, and get killed in a mass shooting, and also the rest of you get infected with a deadly disease that's going to kill you in 10 years? You're weird. It's, again, we are literally living in a mass death cult. A supermajority, a hypermajority, if I may coin the term. What is a hypermajority? Let's just say 90% of humans are literally killing themselves for capitalism, and they're promoting capitalism in the form of peer pressure and bullying. Have you ever been in a situation wearing a respirator and had someone, why are you still wearing a mask? Usually it's accompanied by a cough or a wheeze. Why are you wearing a mask, man? There's fine, dude. Have you ever gone to work or school with a respirator on because you have an IQ above 6 and had someone go like, the COVID's over on your sheep, bro. And then they pass out and die? Yeah. You ever get that? You're the sheep. Only 5 to 10% of people in this country wear a mask, but they're the sheep. Isn't it funny how that works? I don't know, man. You want me to stop talking about it? Go watch a different show. If you want to live in La La Land, stop watching my show. If you want to go move into Fuckville with the rest of the fucking stupid fucking apes known as Homo sapiens, feel free. I choose a different path. I'm sorry. If that makes me a social outcast, whatever. I was already a weird kid in the first place. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I choose life and health over the capitalistic death cult, because once you get long COVID, you're going to find out real quick and no one gives a fuck about you. Because you didn't give a fuck about them. When you had the opportunity to help people with long COVID by not infecting them over and over again, you chose Barbie. You chose Taylor Swift. You chose the Super Bowl. So next year, when you're in bed watching the Super Bowl on TV and you can't get up to use the bathroom so you fucking shit yourself in the bed, just think, I hope they're having fun. So I'm sorry. I refuse to participate in the death cult. I'm not going to conventions. I'm not going to meetups. I'm not going to fucking parades. I'm not going to these fucking protests that are virtue signal garbage. I'll go to a real protest if we actually do something. In 2020, we had a couple of real protests. But I'm not going to these fucking flag-waving parades that last like 2 hours where everyone gets a selfie for them, you know. Hey guys, I'm at the Palestine parade. Woo! They post it on fucking Instagram, or then they walk away and then everyone leaves. I'm fucking that. Fuck that shit. Really? You think that's worth getting a disabling virus to go fucking virtue signal yourself? What's up, guys? I'm at the parade for Palestine. Woo! Free Palestine. Woo! And then let's go home. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're going to have to come up with a better protest. If you want to do something, I'm in. If you want to fucking actually try to change the world, I'm in. A parade doesn't do anything. I'm sorry. We tried parades. I'm referring to protests where they just walk in the street for a couple hours and go home as a parade, because that's what it is. They don't fucking do shit. How many fucking protests have you seen in the United States for free Palestine? Has anything happened? No. Why? Because those parades don't work. The only thing these people are doing are getting sick so that they can't protest again, which the government knows, that's why they're lying to you. Getting selfies, talking about how great their virtues are, signaling how, oh man, I'm so moral and correct and virtuous because I go with a mainstream trendy opinion. They do nothing, then they go home. Nothing changes. And then they tell themselves how they did everything they could. And then eventually... Now again, am I against protest? No. I love protesting. Actual protesting. I've done parade protesting and I've done real protesting. Much prefer the real protesting. Parade protesting is okay. It's fun. I get it. It's like a social event. I get it. It's fun. But doesn't do anything. You're not going to fucking change the outcome by going on a fucking parade with a Palestine flag. It's not going to do anything. You think Palestinians are going like, well, the Americans put on a parade for us, so everything's fine. No. The fucking Democratic primaries were just happening. You know. Where was the anti-Biden, anti-genocide sentiment in the Democratic primaries? Oh yeah, Biden got like fucking 80% in each of these fake elections. So you're not going to vote. You're not going to fucking protest in a meaningful way, but you will go on a parade to virtue signal. Interesting. And that's how I see this generation behaving. They're killing themselves for consumer culture, for social media, and they think, oh, well, it's trendy to support Palestine, so of course I'm going to go to the Palestine rally where we just say free Palestine and then, then go home, and then nothing changes. But I did everything I could. I don't know, maybe I'm a boomer now. Maybe I'm the fucking old ass bitch yelling at the cloud. I don't know. But like, you would think remember the fucking meme phrase, the definition of insanity is trying the same thing and expecting different results. Motherfuckers have been doing parade protests for decades. Has it ever actually done anything? Think about it. Has it ever actually accomplished anything? A parade protest? Remember the Women's March? The largest parade protest of all time or whatever? Did that do anything? No. Remember the fucking parade for our lives bullshit after like the Parkland shooting? Did that do anything? No. Remember the fucking parades that were going around after the Uvalde shooting? Did that do anything? No. Remember the protests and parades in 2020? Over police brutality? Did that really do anything? It did a little bit for a little bit of time, and then everything got worse way after everyone went home. Everyone went home, and then things got way worse all of a sudden. Interesting. But people are going to keep doing the same fucking things over and over and over again. Oh, someone got shot by cops? Let's go do a parade. Nothing will change. No one gives a fuck. Oh, Palestine is getting genocided right now. Let's go do a parade. Nothing will change. No one gives a fuck. And during a pandemic, people are doing this, killing themselves, disabling themselves for the sake of consumerism, for the sake of virtue signaling on social media. I don't know, man. I can't participate in that fucking environment. I'm sorry. So if that makes me a fucking curmudgeon, it does. Whatever. But this world we're living in, man, this is some fucked shit. At this point, I believe that there is no hope, and I may be pessimistic. It's possible. But I believe that there's no hope. The government won. We're all fucked. And my goal is to survive the incoming societal collapse. That's my goal. And to have as much fun as I can at home. I'll play video games while the power grid is still functioning. Right? Enjoy the moment. Because it's not going to be here forever. And no one's going to do anything about it. There is no revolution. Your parades are meaningless. Right? Voting one thing that theoretically is extremely easy to do, no one does it. You know, you'd think, oh, Joe Biden's committing a genocide in the United States when it comes to COVID. He's committing a genocide in fucking the Middle East when it comes to Palestine. I'll vote for Joe Biden. That's what the average voter apparently thinks. Because they're all fucking dumb. They're all fucking dumb. These are dummies. You are all dummies. I'm talking to the humans, my fellow people. You're all a bunch of dum-dums. You're dummies. So maybe I was a little edgy today. I apologize if I'm a little edgy. Sometimes, you know, I like being a little edgy every once in a while. You know, it keeps people on their toes. You know, I want people to watch the show and they don't even know what to expect. You know, obviously I'm going to talk about COVID because I live in the real world, but, you know, I like to keep people guessing. But yeah, you know, it's possible I was a little too mean earlier when discussing people with disabilities, which, you know, again, I just want to reiterate, disabilities, mental illness, right? Like, these terms are thrown around a lot, but who defines what a mental illness is? Doctors who have a stake in maintaining social order of capitalism. That is why if you're autistic, you have a disability. It's not that you just see the world differently. No, you're disabled. Why? Because the world is designed to spite people like you and to burn them into submission. So when you go to like a mental hospital or a therapist or a psychiatrist, their goal is not to improve your quality of life with your quote unquote disability. Their goal is to break you. Their goal is to make you assimilate. That's why they love to put people on medications that don't let them do introspection, but they let them assimilate into society. The same group of people that used to perform lobotomies so that people would go to work on time without thinking too much about how everything is fucking crazy here. These are the same people that are in charge of what is a disability now. Right? And so, I don't know, that's weird to me. That's strange to me. And then when it comes to physical disabilities, you're fucked. Oh, you can't work? Sorry, we don't give a shit about you. Oh, you got long COVID because you came to work like a good little drone and now you're sick? Well, you're fired. Go fuck yourself. Because this society is a death cult. And if you are not going to win at the game of capitalism, at the game of the death cult, then you're going to lose. And how do you win? By not playing. By not playing the fucking Russian roulette that everyone else is playing. That's how you win. I'm just sick and tired of this fucking pandemic, honestly. I have come to terms with the fact that it's never going to end. I have come to terms with the fact that this is the new world. Climate apocalypse, pestilence, sickness. This is the world I live in. So, shout outs to my parents for creating a child now, in this timeline, at this moment in history. Wow. I mean, I'm so thankful to be alive right now experiencing this, right? But I've come to terms with that. This is going to destroy the society that we live in. Now, does that mean I think humans are going to go extinct? The nukes could do that. It's possible. And I worry about nukes after societal collapse too. Society could collapse in a non-nuclear fashion. 30 years later, some crazy fucker finds a nuke somewhere and then fucking blows the world up. That's possible. But I think the current version of civilization that we have is over. It's done. It's dying. And there is no recovery. And that's why I do the things I do. I'm trying to have the most fun I can while being cognizant that this whole ride is coming to an end very soon. And I'd like to inform people of the dangers of living in this world, because I want people that watch me to be healthy, to be safe, and to be as happy as humanly possible. And I know being this aware of what's happening is not a recipe for success when it comes to happiness, but hey, what are you gonna do? Anyway, that's all I got, I guess. I will see you next time.